बैटमैन भी बड़ा सही खेलता है भाई, बड़ा ही
इसने तो
बंदा
भाई
लेके आए हैं ये,
गेम को ये किया भाई, चेंज किया।
सही में बहुत सही बंदा लेके आए हैं।
इन्होंने भी भाई कायाक को भी बराबर लाया इन्होंने, फैनेटिक ने।
टिक का तो मैं इतना नहीं जानता, पीआरएक्स को मैं केवल पीआरएक्स को फॉलो करता हूँ इसमें, वैलोरेंट और कोई नहीं, सब बेकार लग। पीआरएक्स का स्टाइल इतना बढ़िया है ना खेलने का, मजा आता है देखने में।
डब्ल्यू की गेमिंग
हो गया, चलो वाइपर ले रहे हैं बे,
हाँ वाइपर लेते ही है, डबल स्मोक खेलते हैं
सनसेट,
भाई। हाँ
सनसेट पे वाइपर, सेज, वाइपर, सोवा, ओमन, रेज। कौन कर रहा है भाई मैसेज?
ड्रैगन।
संकेत को बुला ले फिर खेलते हैं अपन।
खाना खाना है, खाना
क्या खाना वे, मत का खाना मोटा हो जाएगा। पानी पी बस। सीएस का भी फाइनल है, ड्रैगन वैलोरेंट का भी फाइनल है आज।
किसकी ज्यादा म्यूजिक?
वैलोरेंट में ही है, सीएस में तो क्या चल रहा है, वैलोरेंट में 84 के, सीएस में 34 के। सीएस चालू नहीं होना अभी, अभी तो शो मैच होगा पहले फिर चालू होगा। ओनी पिक्सल की 45,000 व्यूअर्स है भाई, और वो लाइव स्ट्रीम कर रहा है वहीं से, स्टेडियम से वो व्लॉग कर रहा है उधर का।
और उनके चालू हो गए, इनका गेम
वैलोरेंट
चालू
चालू
है
हो गया, अभी चालू हो
अस्सी
रहा है,
हजार ही है फिर।
जस्ट चालू हुआ है, एजेंट सेलेक्ट हुआ है, 100% विन रेट है भाई। पीआरएक्स,
फनाटिक की
पीआरएक्स
ये इस सीजन का है। नया वेंडल में ऑन ये ला रहे हैं कैंडिडेट रेड डॉट,
क्या ला रहे हैं?
कैंडिडेट रेड डॉट इसको पिन कर
ये
दिया।
क्या है?
राइट, वो नहीं है कि अपने पबजी में नहीं होता क्या, कैंडिडेट साइट वाला, कैंडिडेट साइट।
गन टेढ़ी होती
अच्छा,
है, फिर स्कोप खुलता है।
तो फायदा क्या
इन
होता है, हम भूल गए।
वो तू
फायदा बताओ।
कैंडिडेट का पबजी में तू ये कर सकता है, 4x 6x लगा सकता है और साइड में कैंडिडेट रेड डॉट।
नहीं असलियत में पूछ रहा हूँ।
वही तो सेम, लॉन्ग डिस्टेंस क्लोज रेंज के लिए दोनों।
अच्छा
दिखा दी क्या इन्होंने नया वाला बंडल?
दिखा है, मतलब वो खेल लेते लोग। मैंने डाला
उस
है
पे आ
देखो।
गया होगा ना यूट्यूब पे।
हाँ कांगा पे आ गया।
कांगा, अरे कहाँ गया है ये ये ऐसे क्यों है टेढ़ा?
हाँ वही तो है, नया मैकेनिज्म्स लाया भाई, ऐसा लग रहा है। देख तू इंस्पेक्ट इसका, नाइफ के भी 2 इंस्पेक्ट्स है।
ये टेढ़ी रही है,
हाँ टेढ़ी रहेगी।
हाउ इज दैट गुड?
और जिसको भी मारेगा उसका ये आएगा, किल फीड, क्या कहते हैं, किल बैनर। ये फिनिशर इतना ही है, नहीं लगा, ठीक ठाक।
गन और कौन सी है? आउटलो है,
बुलडॉग, आउटलॉ, वैंडल।
वेंडल, वेंडल थोड़ा है। 4 4
क्लोज ग्रिप।
ओ भाई ये मतलब राइट क्लिक करेगा तो कैंडिडेट में जाएगा, वो मतलब कैंडिडेट में जाएगा।
हाँ मतलब बेसिकली हाँ देख, उसका स्कोप ही ऐसा कैंडिड है, हमारा नॉर्मल स्कोप जैसा नहीं है, गन टेढ़ी होके
राइट में हाँ भाई इंस्पेक्ट है।
चेंबर ने डिजाइन किया है ये गन।
वो तो सुना मैंने, नाइफ देखा भाई। ठीक है, ये क्या गोल्डन, अच्छा अच्छा ये तो इंस्पेक्ट कर रहा है। मजे क्यों नहीं आ रहे मेरे को इसमें?
आओ भाई, लॉन्च तो करो।
वो चालू हो गया मैच।
डैड भी तो बोला था 10 बजे आने को।
वहाँ फेनेटिक एक
डेड नहीं आएगा, मना कर रहा था मेरे को, दिन में तो मना कर रहा था।
बोला था मैं 10 बजे आऊंगा करके।
मैंने पूछा था उस, वो बोला पढ़ूंगा।
क्या बढ़िया।
5वां बंदा लाओ, क्या करना है, पबजी खेलना
पूछता हूँ।
मैसेज किया
या मैच देखना है?
मैच देखो, मेरा खाना तो आने दो भाई।
आ जाओ एपेक्स आ जाओ फिर।
एपेक्स तो नहीं है,
करने वाला था तू।
अब जगह नहीं है मेरे लैपटॉप में। आजा भैया स्ट्रीम पे ही। इनके पास है क्या नई वाली किसी के पास?
नहीं ना, अभी अभी नहीं आएगा अपडेट।
वो आउटलॉ में भी तो फिर टेढ़ा ही होके दिखाएगा क्या?
नहीं नहीं।
Of course, he can take these risks with just a pistol in hand. He's not going to be offering up any sort of guns here.
30 seconds left. Spike
Death by a
down
thousand
A.
cuts. Paperex are
enemy
feeling right
remaining.
now.
And another really
Yeah,
solid
right.
hold on.
क्या
Paperex
मैं
not
कर रहा हूँ
doing
stream?
anything too crazy just yet. We know that this is a
ये
team
क्या
that
बात
can
है?
turn up the tempo massively. But early on here on Sunset, playing for all maximization, playing to slowly contact into areas and try to figure out what this Fnatic defense looks like. The more you contact, the more important people like Alpha and his utility become.
चीटिंग भाई ये तो।
And Crashies, the drone, the recon, Alpha's trips and cam. And this round, expecting a B pop, Boaster's got the troops positioned to defend on B.
Full screen करो भाई।
From Fnatic, all stacked up. Crashies, the lone defender towards A, full confidence in the retake.
नहीं कर सकते?
Gone wandering, lurking up through
फिर
B.
क्या मतलब?
We're getting a lot of information.
This is a really nice timing of Paperex. One of the only things they do wrong is clearing these kind of spots.
Slight miss shot.
Good information though for the attackers, and Crashies,
Crashies!
what a shot!
What a challenge to take.
He might think though that that's the only lurk player. It's difficult to expect the other four stacked up behind, but Kayak has read it.
Here comes the pincer, here comes the crunch! Kayak instantly domes two. Paperex are left reeling on their buy round. Fnatic maintaining discipline. It's composure that sailed them all the way through here. The rifles. It's going to have to be raw heroics to see if he can stand a chance in this one. Paperex none the wiser. Lurks on lurks. Here, dropping Divine and a spike in their laps. It's inevitable at this point.
Jing's got an impossible task ahead of him, a 1v4 stuck in elbow. Even if he tried to save, it's not going to work. 30 seconds. Spike abandoned. Fnatic can put the squeeze on. They'd love to get another rifle on board. And deny it away from Paperex. He can't even get one. What a beautiful round from Fnatic, bringing a couple of strategic things as well for this EMEA team. Looking strong early. One of which is Kayak is feeling confident enough to go for that kind of play in round 3. This is a rookie player coming in, having just won a section. He's played fantastically inside EMEA in stage 1. But to be able to do that in your first global event, in your first grand finals, that is confident. That's what you need. And the other part too is they're stressing the flank. Paperex don't have a Cypher, they don't have a Vice, they don't have any ability to watch the flank with some kind of piece of util. And already after round 3, Alex is calling a timeout. This is a worrying sign for PaperX, considering that this is
आप
the
stream
map
कर रहे हो
they're the
इसको?
most favored on. That's why they're
Time
taking
out
us
भी
here
ले लिया
first.
And there's all that talk about, listen, the double map advantage. Fnatic don't have
लिख ही दे
deep
दो
map pool.
इसका नाम
Let me tell you,
ARX
when you get
versus
to grand
Fnatic.
finals, when you get into that best of 5
Huh?
territory, forget the strategy, the experience plays the biggest difference. Fnatic have that in spades. You can make the same argument for PaperX, but they've never done it. They've never lifted a trophy themselves before. They've come close, and they've always missed the mark. It's one of the things that's going to be circling around their heads.
And if you think all the way back to Copenhagen, the final map, as far as I can remember, they threw a crazy composition out there as well. They're playing Yoru Breach on Breeze, which is just, I mean, even in the current Yoru Breach era, is a bit of a mad idea to comprehend. They were always happy to go in and throw the punches and see what landed. Whereas Fnatic, I think, are going to be coming into a game like this with heavy ideas and strategy and ways of anti-stratting and breaking down what PaperX have got in store for them. Especially on maps they knew were coming early, like here on Sunset.
The Outlaws could thrive in this setting. See your players on half armor. The dart immediately dealt with. Kayak is safe.
Never a worry, never a doubt that that recon was going to get broken. Crashy's always had that, leaving Kayak to hold onto the smoke. Forsaken.
Yes, risky business, but again, risks have to be taken when you're down like this. PaperX want to increase the tempo, increase the heat. Taking control out towards market already. Stray shots, no damage. They need a couple more where that comes from. And now putting in the crunch.
Let's go.
Down B.
And they crumble towards it, but there's rifles in the hands of Chronicle, and he's taking this one.
अरे,
It's
गाड़ी मार
still,
के।
it's still not 1-for-1.
अरे भाई
Literally, yeah.
पैटमैन बच जाता पैटमैन
Alfia going to have to be a hero here, coming back through market. PaperX have done a great job of getting back into this round. Put a serious squeeze on the Boaster, he just couldn't hold up to the pressure.
Trying to do some damage towards the end of this one. Alfie has left it down to the 1v1. Forsaken! He just dominates it!
Huge kill off screen as well. The Turkish aim comes through and saves Fnatic in a situation where things got sticky. Light weaponry, only stingers out for PaperX, but they're still down 0 and 4.
Dragon.
Interesting moment in
Okay.
that. Boaster threw a counter paranoia to try to keep players back in market. Patman just ran through, just kept running forwards. Living and breathing by the W Gaming, and it did put Boaster and Crashies in a tough spot that Alpha had to recover.
Come on, let's go!
खाना खा रहा है
A
और
4-1 lead, and now Kayak has the funds to be able to bring out the op. He is alone, though, on the A site here. Take a look at
अरे
this
खाना खा
guy.
रहा है रुक जा
Doesn't
भाई
really have the most support in the world. Crashes is going to come to get his back like he did in B main early. But PaperX have the util to push him off.
Wall in your face too, and he hears it. Footsteps around, trying to take that one into the up angle, but there's a rocket in your face! You turned into pink mist in a moment's notice here. Crashies, he's stuck, isolated, skipping, hopping, trying to survive. Boaster.
If Jing had thrown an aid in there, then surely he would have been dead, but
Crashes
instead
forward.
focusing on taking the site.
Crashes forward, he's already taken the timing against them, and he's trying to take it forwards, fast and loose is the play. Wall into the back of the site though, it's all being contained in that flank again. Drone close, no coverage inside, but Boaster's there to respond. Pacman only expecting the one.
Planted.
He's already jumped away. Boaster and Alpha going to be left to do it all. Finally, Alpha reveals his hand. Look at the wrist, the hat goes out. It's going to be good information. Hammered up. Start rebounding. The time is going to start ticking soon enough. PaperX is still a bit more disciplined. Looking to try and play this one together now. First tap, first target down. Boaster's gone and Alpha is next. So PaperX, they do show up and they get that round on the board, a critical one at that.
A little bit of a late awakening here on the stage, but nice to see the PaperX have got what it takes when there's ults on the board. Slight mechanical error there for Kayak at the very beginning. Had a shot actually on the Devi. I think he caught it dead to rights, but just got off the angle at the wrong moment. Chose to scope back up, and that cost him his life. And now Kayak's,
come on.
now Kayak's going to have to play with his Neon Ultimate. Already invested pretty heavily economically in the previous round. And now PaperX going into the Cypher setup.
इनके देखो
That
भाई
tucked around
मार्केट
is an
में
instant
2 जन
draw
खेल
and-
रहे हैं
Walking, wading out through mid. Pacman looking to contain it. He's missed the timing on it though. These players have already slipped straight past. Kayak.
He's going to
doing
hear
some
stuff.
damage. Oh, surely hears it, yes. Tip tap of the footsteps, and he buys his time, buys it well. Here's the ult to buy, shuts him down, but up through mid. It's Pac-Man. Straight up the gut, instant res as well. It's going to be undoing that damage.
And
a little bit earlier.
A massive gap in mid here, Brent. Forsaken. Through completely. Pac-Man as well. They've cut a swath straight through the middle of this Fnatic defense. Just rotating through, and Chronicles left to pick up the pieces and wonder, what the hell happened to this defense macro? PaperX were all gathered up towards A, and yet still found that perfect timing. And this is really going to hurt or start to put the hurt on the
गया क्या संकेत?
Something in Chronicle.
पूछ ले एक बार.
Shoulder to shoulder. He spots out the barrel, so handed a freebie.
But just going for the save here. PaperX got good value out of that res. Divide online early, able to undo all of the good work that Kayak had done with his tiles push.
भी पेपर एक 2 राउंड
And
जीत
again, I
गई.
just want to stress how much Fnatic are going for these mid pushes and these flanks. They're really trying to abuse. Feels like the biggest part of their anti-strat so far is trying to abuse the fact that PaperX do not have that cipher in their composition. Push down, try to get the flanks going for the A retake. Something that Boaster loves to do when we've seen him call in the past on maps like Haven, for example, against these Sentinel-less comps. But this time just missed that timing on Pac-Man. And I think it could be tough to
bomb
play
का
against
plant
PaperX
किया है
sometimes
इन्होंने.
because they do take unorthodox timings. They're willing to take a bit more risk.
इतनी दूर दूर 20 से सब लोग.
And so back-to-back rounds. That shot too, instantly denying the Neon ultimate. Creating space for the res.
Too easy, guys, come on.
Alpha also had all of his Cypher utility on the A site that round. And once again, he's going to put it all down on B, so not using any of it for top mid information, except for this cam, which is going to be able to see feet as you walk up mid. But if
तुम को क्या
Alpha's
खिला
not
रहे हैं
tapping
ये?
it regularly, then Pac-Man could still find
जेट
time.
प्लेयर था ना इनका ये तो.
A real switch up as well from the game plan of PaperX.
No, they're really focused on this A pressure, trying to get big
हाँ,
value out of
Reyna में
Pac-Man's
था.
utility, even if it's not actually Pac-Man who's there taking the space.
रेना जेट दोनों खेलता था.
Drone. PaperX trying to hide their intent.
Very slow so far on the attack side for PaperX too, isn't it? Really trying to mess with expectations.
The dart doesn't clear.
और यूरो तो 4 सेकंड ही खेलता है भाई.
Sat nice and pretty.
यूरो तो 4 सेकंड ही खेलता है तगड़ा. भाई साहब क्या तो प्लेस होते हैं उनके.
Lining up Alpha, they rebounding. We'll have to respect it. Market control. PaperX is for now, and you see now Hunter's furious as soon as there's signs of life. That's from afar. Crashes. Looking to supplement it, trying to put a stop to this one. But PaperX, they're denying that momentum they've got. This train is not stopping. Not here. Not now.
अरे
They barrel through, unconventional pathing there for PaperX. Didn't send anyone through B main. And Fnatic were left wondering. As the wall came down over towards Boba, slicing off the defenders on site. Chronicle didn't know which way to look. Very much an adaptation here for PaperX in terms of how they're approaching this one. The game plan coming from Alex, maybe even coming from Mini too. Remember that former Fnatic head coach is now doing assistant coaching for this squad. But the game plan appears to be slower and more deathball-y. They're not trying to split, they're just trying to stay together and take out Fnatic piece by piece on rounds like this. If they haven't had the success over towards Elbow, then working through market and up to Boba was wondrous there. This is now 3 rounds in a row for PaperX. Trying out a really unconventional, slow pace to their game. And at any point here, they can turn up the tempo and it's going to catch Fnatic off guard.
So I think PaperX reaching new heights and evolution for this team now. A little bit more of that nuance that's available to them, the slower play, working the map on their attack sides.
And I think they have to. If you play that undisciplined W game style, where it's not so refined, I think Fnatic eat that up all day long. They're a disciplined team. They love absorbing aggression. That old PaperX style just simply wouldn't work, I don't think. They have beaten them before. It's one-on-one between these two teams, so I'm not saying it can't ever work, but I don't think it was the right idea to go into this game with. But in this tournament, we've seen a better, more thoughtful PaperX. Willing to pump the brakes and play with a little bit of discipline in the mid-round after doing the same fast pressure. They've still got that killer instinct. They're just willing to temper it. It's now Fnatic who are going to have to take a timeout of their own. The newer coaching staff, who've had so much success with this roster, looking to add their input into things. And I would say now's the time to try to hit something quick. If you're Paper Rex, if you wanted to change up the tempo at any point in this game, coming out of your opponent's timeout, that's one of the best opportunities for you. It is going to be a bit of a half-buy round for Fnatic. Kayak with a glass cannon guardian, a stinger, and a sheriff around the place. So maybe Paper Rex will play with patience in this one and turn up the tempo for the next. Early B main, though, is already a little bit different.
Yeah. Spread out. Control, one away from some big ults as well. Jing. Looking forward to that showstopper. Contact plays good for again. It's just broken out. Now spotted here with a snake bite rebounding. Ricochet and Chronicle looking to try and slow them down. Our bodies behind this one. It's a delayed hit. Jutting smoke. You got to be careful of this one. Alpha inside it, trying to sidestep straight towards it. Something just dismisses him. And Jing already taken up that timing. Slips into the gap and finding his mark. Boaster has to operate at a bit of run and gun. Backside control is still there for Fnatic.
Spike planted.
Plan down now for Paper X.
One enemy remaining.
And Paper X are not stopping. They're not content with just the front. They want the entirety of this map.
उसको हेड पे लगी ना स्टिंगर.
Really good adjustment there as well. Alpha, a little unfortunate, does hit the 140 with the Phantom. You see there the aim punch on something. And Alpha moves away thinking that he's already got the kill. His crosshair resetting onto the next target before even confirming that something had hit the deck. And after a 0-4 beginning to this map, it feels like Paper X, the vibes are back.
Yeah.
They've tied up the game, and going into this, Kayak once more picking up the operator, and still a slow beginning actually for Paper X. Really not trying to challenge early on. It's been more about contacting. And then the question becomes, who's actually holding the contact for Fnatic? Because often they're playing really passive lines. And here you just see Boaster jiggling and Kayak holding elbow.
Operator in hand, one of the best tools for the job, but seeing signs alive. Jing, that's his cue to go. Sending it, ricocheting against the wall. That's no damage done. A Boaster is eager to draw that blood. Just trying to wrangle control of the rifle. Kayak's been overwhelmed. Paper X. Crackheads while they're at it. Jing, not content with just a few. Device steals them right from his sight line.
A huge round, and the defense collapses again from Fnatic. Kayak had to hit that shot. He put himself on such an aggressive angle. A really deep position that you see this Neon dive from in elbow. And if he doesn't hit the shot, then he can't escape. Neon's got great maneuverability, but you've got to get the first in order to avoid getting traded. A Boaster fell shortly afterwards with that scramble in the smoke. Chronicle once more not really able to have too much impact in his 5th grand final appearance. Thus far, Paper X have been avoiding him mostly. A couple of times now that we've seen him save, and Divide back up to another res, by the way. So got his 2nd available, and that's just a really nice tool for being able to deal with those early skirmishes if Paper X players are pack. I think it'd be fair to call them fan favorites.
Oh, yeah. All smiles here.
That's why I was saying yesterday, I really feel like Fnatic are going to be the villains of this story. They've set themselves up as the barrier between Paper X and the trophy that's always one step out of reach. You have to go through a team that's managed to do it back-to-back. But at the moment, Paper X have picked themselves up after a bad start and have been pretty much flawless since then.
The early timeout has worked wonders.
Kayak once more getting into this deep position, willing to take a bit of a gamble here, tucked himself down behind this box in mid. Last time, didn't find too much value from it.
Deep pushes are everywhere on the map. Fnatic. There's Boasters out through A main, down through mid. Getting a good idea now. This is going to be landing over towards B. Chronicle tucked to the corner. He's going to be feeling that heat, takes the peak. Dealing with these players out towards the extremities, but not through bottom mid. Instant res. Forsaken brought back into the fold. Crashes. Just can't control that Guardian in time. Something feeling that heat and that stun does good connection. Kayak Trying to make some moves. Alpha dominates market. This putting a bit of fear now into the step of Paper X towards the plan, towards the back of the site.
Spike planted.
But playing together, Forsaken and Divine need to come up with a plan here for dealing with things. Suddenly, though, they split apart, trying to get on either side of the neon wall. So Kayak may be the target. Feels like Paper X need to take the fight
क्यों
into
बैठे
one of these
पीसी
guys
बोलो
from
तो रिएक्शन दो इसलिए तो यहाँ से देख रहे नहीं तो लाइव देख ले छी नहीं तुम यहाँ से इसलिए देख रहे हो क्योंकि मैं स्ट्रीम कर रहा हूँ
कौन है डेड डेड से बोलो पढ़ ले
पढ़ेगा तो ना वो हम कह रहे पढ़ भी जा रहा हूँ मैं
इधर आके खेल ले भाई हम चार हैं
Even when things are looking tricky, they've got a game plan, they've got the right micro calls. And that honestly was quite passive too from
easy PRX भाई
like to see him get back
Found out कर रहा था PRX पे
although what he was doing in the mid round was
कोई
nice to
नहीं
be able to
करता
track
मैं
over
जिताया
the
मैंने
main.
तो लेकिन प्ले ऑफ में
Alpha
नहीं
wins
जिताया
one hugely important duel against Jing, but couldn't overcome the
लॉक ही नहीं कर पाया
who's took the scoreboard 10 and 5.
मैं वो ऐसा क्या था कि सेंटिनल से हारेगी है वो पहले ही बाहर कर दिया इनको चलो पेपर सेंटिनल्स को
Similar setup. Paper X not changing things up.
सेंटिनल से फालतू हो गई भाई 10 के जाने के बाद से तो
Just adjust the aim, crashes. Does trade.
मस्त थी जब श्राउड और 10 थे ना फिर तब बढ़िया थे
Going to be turned up onto Alpha. He steps forwards, a bit of spam coming his way. That's a Hunter's Fury into the back of the site. Alpha trying to capitalize off this chaos. Moving forward, sidestepping, crashes.
Spike down.
Indomitable from this spot.
Drops Divide, drops the spike, manages to sidestep the Hunter's Fury in the meantime too, but they know where Alpha is, and it's tough to really support him.
Clear him out. Rifle in hand. Trying to lead the march forwards, and the spike potentially retrievable, but Fnatic have eyes on it.
Yeah, Boaster's done a great job here actually of getting, he's beefed the movement there. Was just trying to get on top of the box.
नहीं पहुंच
He
पाता
was in a spot where he could support Crashies, and now there's a dangerous timing until this wall breaks, but it looks like it's just about to expire, and he's been saved for that. 3v3 and Forsaken with an Omen ult means that this spike isn't really in enemy territory at all.
One of the reasons why Chronicle hasn't rotated.
ले गया बम
Picks it up,
30
slow it down.
seconds
Paper X only have 30 seconds to work with here.
And what a call. He's calling to go back into the same site, trying to fake out the idea he would have left.
20 left, Boaster. Watchful eye smoke dissipates, but too many targets. Too much to deal with. Crashies. It's all on him. Tries to buy time, but a bullet to the dome. And a bullet to the temple.
मारा हाँ
मरने के बाद
नहीं पहले मारा
अरे मरने के बाद मरा है पर
This
वो
situation though finally winnable for Chronicle, an opportunity for impact.
at the same time हुआ
For an
है
easy fight first. The first most spots it out. Snake fight. No rebound necessary, but doesn't really connect something. Sits it down.
अल्टी मारेगा
Thought about committed. Let loose entirely.
ओ
The
लग
bullets
गई
are
लगी
raining down on him now. Time ticking away. Spraying away. Chronicles hoping, praying,
स्ट्राइकर समझ रहा है क्या
अब जीत तो पाएगा ही नहीं
hoping that Paper X will give him absolutely anything to reload and run forwards for Forsaken. Knocks him out.
मैं होता तो बैठ जाता भाई उधर
7 rounds in
मर जाता बे
Paper X here.
वो स्पैम कर रहे थे दो बंदे
Fnatic
चांस
is
ही
making
नहीं
too many mistakes on the defense side. Kayak kind of whiffs a little bit in this opener, doesn't land a single bullet on Jing. And then Boaster chooses the worst time to drop from high ground to low ground. As this smoke dissipates, he's choosing to walk forwards, not accurate to hold that smoke. As it leaves the Paper X players in the open. Small errors and a massive comeback in this half from Paper X.
It's all the way back off the side of that timeout.
Forsaken as well, picking up an attack op. He's got the money to just go for a rifle afterwards. Just watching mid. And a little pacier perhaps, going for a B-pop here.
Yeah, Fnatic hard, disrespecting though. Deep push out towards A main, so they've got the information, they know what's up.
Jing one away from a showstopper, but choosing not really to go
तो क्या
heavily prioritizing it. Instead, looking to try to clear the flank. They know this has been happening.
स्पैम करने के लिए लाए थे ना वो
Drifted in and out, it's Batman who falls. Something is next. Fnatic, full control towards it. There's a paranoia in your faces and they're going to be disengaging.
Best opportunity for Fnatic to snag around since the first 4.
Leaving Paper X to stew.
And Paper X thought it was a mid push, realized it wasn't, so now they're exploring mid themselves.
It's in the shoulder. Forsaken, that is a ballsy TP. And wide, off-angle played.
Could be on Kayak here. Could be on Kayak over towards A. You see Jing is making his way towards it, but all three players on Paper X trying to make their own individual timing play.
Forsaken has caught one. Can they catch the next? Crashes! Topples!
हीरो भाई
उसको पता भी था जबकि सोवा को तो कि वो वहां से क्रॉस कर चुका है.
It should be in a good spot for it. Site needs to be cleared out here. In through the back of the site, it's going to be that plan.
ये सही है देखो मेन में उनको छोड़ दिया और मिड से साइड ले ली पूरे पीछे की साइड.
So does Alpha. Rocket to your feet.
Easy भाई fucking
Stop this team. When Paper X get going, there's no
ये
denying
3-0 होने वाला है ये.
We'll try everything.
अरे
8-4 is where we leave it.
इतने दूर दूर बिठाते हैं ना इनको.
Train took a little while to get going here on Sunset.
उठ के जाना पड़ता है भाई हाथ से उड़ने के लिए.
Loud through Fnatic. A 3v5 that they turn around with a brilliant lurk play again.
3-0
A great
right,
idea
3-0
of
easy.
what to do, a great call on it, found the perfect timing. Forsaken looks amazing here. He's even overtaken Divine.
क्या बोल रहा हूँ?
Unreal scenes so far. Paper X not slowing down, but we're going to send it down to the floor. A special guest is standing by.
एक तो what did I say बोला मैं तो को उनके भाषा में कुछ तो बोला भाई.
I am delighted
नहीं,
to
क्या
be
पांचवा?
joined by the
चौथा
Riot
ही नहीं है.
CEO Dylan Jadeja here. Now, Toronto has been such a fantastic host city.
कितना
Welcome
खाएगा?
back, by the way. Wanted to ask you, how are you finding the event, and also, what have you been up to?
Oh right,
This
CEO.
is such an
Jadeja.
incredible city.
Jadeja.
It's home for me. I grew up in Brampton,
Indian है?
so it's really special. So, yeah, that's right. It's really special to walk the streets of Toronto and see people wearing the Val logo and to be a part of this community. You guys bring such incredible energy to this event.
that-
It means so
Dylan
much to us.
Jadeja.
This is one of the greatest cities in the world, and so to have the opportunity to showcase this to all of
पापा
our
मम्मी
players
का नाम
around the
देखो
world,
भाई.
that's great.
एक तो
I also
Indian होगा.
would be
Wikipedia है ही
remiss if
नहीं
I didn't
वैसे.
take a second to say thank you to all the players here, to all the players who are watching this
उसमें पापा मम्मी का नाम
online,
क्यों लिखा
to the
चूतिया है?
co-streamers and the influencers
नीचे नीचे
who
लिख के
make
पीडिया
it
है ना.
possible
लिख के पीडिया
for us to bring this event to our
नीचे हाँ.
players. So I just
एक
want
ही
to say
नीचे
thank you to everyone.
लिंक्डइन है.
Fandom में
I got the
fandom
chance
में
yesterday, by the way, to go back to Brampton.
ऊपर ऊपर.
The food is the best in Canada. I
Isme
just gotta
fandom.
say so.
I completely agree. Now, it's made it even more special by the fact Valorant just celebrated its 5th birthday. I remember being there when the game came out, so I wanted to ask you if you could maybe reflect and
सीधा
tell
लिख दो
us what
parents
it was
name
like
भाई
on,
ये तो.
on launch day.
Yeah, it was crazy. We launched Valorant in the middle of the pandemic with no real perspective on how well it would be loved by players. We knew we had built something that would serve the needs of an audience that cared deeply about a tax shooter. And we thought we had nailed that, but when you launch it in the pandemic, you never know how it's going to play out. And then we didn't know how we were going to serve the game. We were working from home. So we shipped this from people's
Indian
living
origin
rooms.
होंगे.
And it wouldn't be where it is if it wasn't for this community. It's been inspiring and humbling to have this be
नीचे रविंद्र जडेजा कहाँ
co-created
गया
by
भाई?
players. So we're very, very fortunate and very blessed to have this
Nationality.
community build this game with us.
Thank
Indian
you
origin.
so
Indian
much.
origin
And
है ना.
also, Paper X might lift their first trophy in 5 years as well. So let's jump back in the game and see if they can close us out.
Indian origin
आ जाओ okay हमारे.
We're going to see how this first map all shapes
गेम में आ जाओ
out.
गेम में आ जाओ.
Time's already ticking. These players are eager to get back into the fight between each other. Fnatic.
कॉल करो ड्रैगन को यार.
What an end to that half, though, for Paper X. I mean, if there was any team with momentum here, it would be them.
अरे भाई
Take a look at
साहब
the
6-6.
Coinbase econ report and see if you can pick out a
Show
player
match चल रहा है
for Paper
CS.
X that would be
Team
looking to try and do
streamers
their best
versus
heavily
Team
in the
USA.
defense half. This is not a map that you expect them to be going too much towards the operator. You know,
Skadoodle, nothing,
they
Elite.
eliminated Ascent, for example, which is where something's going to be going heavy with that. But here,
कौन
it's more to
final
do
कौन है
with them playing as a pack.
Vitality
playing as
versus
death
Mongols.
ball. And I think Jing and Divine have
Phase
been
में
great
कौन
at
सी
being able to set up those
नहीं.
tip of the
Mongols कौन सी
spear.
है?
Forsaken
Mongols पहुंचे
either
हैं.
coming in behind or
Mongols का
setting up
सेमीफाइनल अरे Mongols का सेमीफाइनल
just
पेन से
all
था.
had phenomenal impact so far.
किससे?
Really feels like
Pain.
it's settled into the
Pain
rhythm of
game
this
है.
map.
Yeah. Was worried at the beginning.
पेन ने शायद से उसको रहा था फ्यूरिया को.
Yeah, I
Mongols
mean, I
ने
think
Donga क्या
शायद हाँ Mongols ने फेस को रहा था 2-0.
in a lot of tournaments, but
Donga
winning
क्या
has eluded them. And you gotta
Spirit?
hope that they don't choke another, I
पता
think.
नहीं यार.
At the moment, though,
Spirit हार
set up
गई.
in a great position.
ओ भाई
On a
क्या तो
map
वन
they
में
should
पूरा
have
क्या
been
तो
favourite.
उधर से फेंक दो इसको. हमारा स्ट्राइकर तो करने का था
running around occurring. PaperX are stacking A
हमारा
towards
स्ट्राइकर निंजा
4
डिफेंस के लिए
players.
बचाता रहता है।
Early setup. Creeping and crawling forwards
और
Chronicle.
हाईमेट तो कितने
Has to
बार
be the
किया
player
है
to
मैंने?
receive. It's an off angle for him. Damage! Done and more!
गंदा गंदा
Alpha, I mean, it's one of those players
हार गई
in their
PRX
backpack.
हाँ
Something's going to try to recover this one. Actually might have caught a timing back around the backs, but scurried away. Chronicle and Alpha live to fight another day. Alpha even going re-exploring.
Yeah, he's going to have to take down Fight. It's not clean. Only stretch of imagination. Dropped down to 10 health as a result of it.
Standing ahead.
All needs to be broken now. Clearing the way. That doesn't clear most of it though. This is an impossible scenario for Fnatic to pistol round in their sights.
अरे
Already control.
अंदर जाने की जगह मिल गई।
Tripled up. In through the back of the site. Main is theirs.
तो इसकी वॉल है ये।
Looking into the fray, Patman is the last one left now to stand against this. What can he really do, the rookie?
निकाल लेगा ये। अरे यार वो रिवील नहीं
Revealed
होता।
up. It's a classic right click, simple enough.
So both pistols in this map going the way of Fnatic, but really very few rifle rounds. I mean, one, if you could even call the bonus round that in the first half, going the way of the EMEA team. We'll see if that trend
पिस्टल
continues.
ही जीत पा रहे हैं ये
Fnatic got a
लोग।
great start out.
गन
Just
अपने हाथ
couldn't
स्टार्ट हो।
convert any further. But PaperX, that same gap that Fnatic were trying to exploit in the first half by sending flanks, pushing mid, that gap does still exist here on their defense side, that lack of information. For example, in this round, how open market is.
मार्शल का स्टिंगर और फैंटम और रैंडम
PaperX.
सारी गन ले ली उन्होंने भाई।
Respected them, really.
सारी अवेलेबल गन सिर्फ अब बजट में जो आ रही।
The slower that Fnatic play, the more that PaperX are going to be worried about those gaps. And it means that PaperX themselves have to be pretty proactive in the defense. If you play against PaperX and you just hit sites over and over, you make their job very easy here.
तो आई
They
गेस
don't have to worry about the lurk, they can
तो
just play
इनका
for the
अलग ही
retake.
प्लान है
But when you play slow, the way that Boaster calls, there's going to be worries in the back of Forsaken's mind. And they'll have to take timings like this to re-clear mid and then spread back out.
One of that 3-2-1 swing. I'll give me that, at least the due diligence. Clearing out the way, this is PaperX looking to try and flood their way back in. They've only got pistols. They're making the most of it right now, but again, body's top
वो मुझे सही टाइम पे पहुंच जाता तो मार देता उसको।
onto the site, Patman. Yeah, not live for much longer. 2 now.
लॉलेस हो गया ये राउंड तो।
Looking to see if they can convert this bonus. It's going to be a healthy one.
And PaperX are going to play to try to flood. They love playing quickly. As you put the spike down, they're going to be running back into sight, trying to deny you. Very coordinated with their utility as well, but fast-paced. So far in this
We are
tournament,
holding this A, bro. We are defending now again on side.
yeah, they're not even going to have the chance to get into post plants very often and play these really calm, controlled post plant setups. It's going to be frantic. They're going to feel like defenders, just as Kron said.
I guess PaperX ही बोल सकते हैं भाई ये
Jump spots. Info gathered.
Looking
कि
to
हम दो
diligently
बार
clear these
डिफेंस कर
corners,
रहे हैं
waiting to see if any of the PaperX players have tried to take a tricky aggro
बिना
timing.
ओटी जाके
It's a deeper wall from Patman. It's causing some concern, but cleared out now by Fnatic.
A devised wall is really good at blocking these gaps.
इसको
he's
कब पड़ी भाई
popped it down over towards A right now, and nobody from Fnatic choosing to break it, which means in theory, the defenders can back out of A and go to cover a different gap. But they're waiting here, expecting Boaster to be a good enough caller to want to break this wall.
And they're poking, prodding, just trying to bring it down. It's going to be fading at a moment's notice, and while that was occurring, something was the only player holding top mid. He's gone. Kai takes him out. Forsaken responds. Paranoia is going to be sweeping forwards as well, putting a bit of pause into the step of Fnatic. Slow as they go. Time to be taken. Crashes the one with a spike here, and he's going to be dropping it into Forsaken's lap. Full control here. This is the round has gone a bit skew with Fnatic. They need a miracle in it now. The random spam. It's been picked up, but
वो भी गन चेंज करने गया
bullet to the body of Alpha. There's not much left that they can really do from this spot. PaperX up to 9.
And Forsaken does such a great job holding market, forcing Fnatic to pay for every inch they take in blood. Even though something falls, Forsaken is not willing to give this up. Even with a drone in his face, he chooses to challenge, to fight.
One enemy remaining.
And then catches even a timing on crashes.
Don't mess with me, okay?
Don't mess with me, bro.
And that kind of conditioning is going to cause Fnatic to use more utility, be more cautious, always doubling up. Forsaken steps forward again. Oh, he's been caught on the other side of the wall.
Yep. It's going to be dropping down in front of him, and Alpha just drops it in
गंदा हुआ
instead.
भाई Forsaken के
He was
साथ
trying
बहुत
to break
गंदा
the
हुआ
can there and still get back into market in time. That's a fumble.
Dart to clear this way. Ball's going to be propped up. We can expect it to still be slow and steady by Fnatic.
And this time, PaperX do what I was talking about, where they wall up and leave. But they're pushing the other side of the map, getting Patman in a pretty deep inserted position in B.
It's looking like a B split. Boaster has that B main control for him. A very important fight going to be occurring on both sides. Here's something. Just drifts right into the crosshair play. Smart!
Oh.
Like a rocket man, but the bodies are toppled anyway. Fnatic find the advantage and the edge is left to Patman.
Ando.
Right into the sights, Chronicle.
You love to see plays like that from PaperX, leaning on some of the classic odd timings of aggression. But Fnatic dealt with it. Maybe this is the kind of pace that they're more comfortable playing against. They were very ready for that peak from something. It's super similar to what Forsaken went for in the previous round, trying to timing the drone. And then as much as Jin got value from that peak, Fnatic come out on top. Another good start to a half. But that didn't stop PaperX from coming back and getting 8 in a row.
बाप रे क्या aggression है दोनों साइड से
PaperX are just clearing out
Batman
A right
उधर से
now,
जा रहा था आगे
allowing
पीछे आ
something to
गया
build up a little closer to the Hunter's Fury, which is
ये
an
चारों जन इधर से
incredibly
जा रहे
useful
थे
ultimate, especially when you want to play that flood defense style. Puts a lot of pressure on the planter. But this round, Boaster's calling for his team to explore over towards B. And Patman, he's been trying to challenge this. Once more, they do not want to give any space for free. Fnatic are going to have to fight to get into these post plants.
Wall down, barely broken. Not quite there yet.
वो
That's going to be
इस
signs
wall
of
के
life.
बीच
So
में मारने के
KG,
ये होता है
let's go
क्या
forwards. It's an eco round. Rocket rebounds, no kill. Alpha taking Jing out of the fight. A lot of the biting around the PaperX were hoping for. It's going to be dissipating now. Deep drone has rather reclear some of that info, but it's called for Fnatic. We're going to go over towards B. Forsaken and Patman. The only defenders, the only players to try and put a stop to it. Kayak. It's going to be offloading that ultimate now. Overdrive in hand. Trying to put a stop to Patman, and there's only so much you can do. There's a neon AD in your face. Inevitable at this point here. Trying to go for the trade out. Alpha's there in time.
And Alpha, yes, the hero of the round, takes a pretty large risk in stepping forwards to the showstopper, but catches a nice timing onto Jing. Catches him in the side, utilizes his ultimate, and they realize there is a huge gap in the defense all the way up mid into Market and Boba. And they catch these players on the B side, separating them entirely from those defenders that would love to rotate and support. Here's the timeout once again, called by Coach Alex. This was what made all the difference before. Alex had some input, and they ran the next 8 rounds in a row on their attack side, PaperX. What's the adjustment here? I think it is very tough to play against Fnatic's slower pace style. When you don't have a sense of your composition, you can't just sit back. You've got to meet that caution with some aggression of your own.
फिर PUBG खेलते हैं
To some degree, I think
Dead online तो है
they need to be playing fast and cocky, yeah, but they also need to be playing smart. They need these adjustments coming through from Alex to be able to tell them the right times to go aggro, the right ways in which to play the retake.
We can see from the money situation, Divine opting into the operator might still stick towards it.
Zombie को बुला लो, zombie को.
Maybe a central piece to try and hold together this defense.
And I think the interesting
Team पे तो है.
component is he's the Sage, and the wall is also an essential component of their mid-rounder defense and their info game. So Is he going to play for the wall early and then in the mid round get posted up with the op, or does he try to take early angles and ignore the fact that his wall could be finding them good value in the mid?
Valo का पूछना CS का नहीं, CS नहीं है मेरे पास.
Wall in his face for now.
Oh, मैं तो CS का ही पूछा अब.
We find towards the top. Sakam taken out and a double phase.
Destroyed.
Oh my, obliterated.
And so now you've got no op, no wall, no res. One of your most important players hits the deck so early.
Paperex are left wandering out into the open, but Alpha. Good pick. Best that they could potentially find.
He might have even seen 2 on the minimap there as he died. Because it looked like something and Pac-Man were doubled up.
So Paperex have brought it even 4 versus 4 now, and another 3 to 1 to the spot.
अरे अच्छी भाई डबल पिक करके भी हार गए.
That's disgusting work.
कैसे भाई एक डैमेज भी नहीं पड़ा
The neon
उसको.
movement as well to just glide away from the trade. He's sharp, confident, and starting this hit into the B site. Paperex, I mean, they don't even have the tools, the funds here to contest, frankly.
They've scrambled away.
ड्रैगन जैसे कैसे खेल रही है एकदम से यार भाई.
Perhaps, but they are drifting in like.
सही में भाई.
ड्रैगन आगे इसलिए हार
They've
रहे
got
हैं.
4 players that aren't going to be able to buy in the next round.
Unwise.
नहीं कर रहा रिप्लाई. चला लो
One of the
PUBG.
players could go for something. If they found a lurk, if they found a pick. But Pac-Man, he picks up the operator and they just play for it into the next round.
Please मेरा PUBG ये नहीं हो.
2 opportunities for Paperex to be trying to find an early pick through mid.
गे नहीं हो
One
बोल रहा है
with the
गे
op, one
नहीं.
with the double face and both dismantled. Really sharp shooting here from Fnatic.
They're going to be drawing it level with that one. 9-9 for Fnatic. That experience, that grit.
You talk about drawing in though. Look at the net drawing in on these players trying to save.
They got to save them. Forsaken steadily being overwhelmed at this point. Slightest gaps are going to try to get it down to the final moments.
11-11 स्कोर चल रहा है शो मैच का.
No saving.
सही में तुम तो बोला तो क्या है?
Prizes and yeah, no money.
रिग्ड है भाई रिग्ड है.
This is now a dire circumstance.
और भाई साहब एक बंदे के 29 किल है स्ट्रीमर वाली टीम में. पता नहीं कौन है ये.
And then the kayak 1v2 afterwards is
तो
spectacular
नहीं
as
कभी.
well. Something
इसलिए फुल स्क्रीन नहीं कर पा रहा हूँ. एक उस पे गेम चल रहा है सीरियस का.
वही ना दिखा दूंगा तो फिर दिक्कत हो जाएगी.
Paperex are willing to take the risks on rounds like this, and it's Forsaken who goes straight down with the...
Already the deep TP, but he's surrounded potentially there, and it's just offset immediately. Patman going down. Clears up a series of unknowns. Fanatics start to slowly get a grip on what's going on.
They Viper walled for mid, so the Forsaken could push, but that meant that Patman didn't have his own Viper wall in B main that he's been playing around.
Forsaken still stanced up, but okay, can't avoid that one. Kayak is sharp right now.
Fnatic are doing a great job of dealing with all of this defensive pressure, and like I've been saying over and over again, Paperex have to do this. It might look like Paperex are just kind of walking into their demands.
Oh भाई साहब.
Composition relies on them getting active on defense.
गंदा कैरी कर रहा है भाई बंदा. 32 किल है उसके. पहले 12 पे पहुंच गई वो स्ट्रीम टीम.
लड़की है?
नहीं नहीं डोना है लड़की तो. लड़का है.
स्ट्रीम टीम हो रहा है. स्ट्रीम टीम पहले 12.
डोना तो 0 पे होगी.
नहीं 9 किल है शायद.
मुझे बताओ मैं ये ओपन क्यों नहीं कर पा रहा हूँ.
ये तो मूव है.
Something got a kill. Divide got a slow on. Divide even gets pinned over towards Boba. And they've got a good idea of where something is.
Time.
It's a 4v1.
10 seconds left.
No real opportunity here for something. Maybe feeling like he has to do it all.
Spike planted.
Spike planted on A. This is a dire circumstance for Paperex.
Forsaken only has 800 credits too. So this is just
12 पे 12. ओ भाई
something's entirely on the wrong side of the map.
13 किल है डोना के. सोच ऑनी पिक्सल के कितने होंगे.
ये क्या आ रहा है भाई. कोई तो ये देखो जल्दी.
ड्रैगन
हाँ
जीत गई. स्ट्रीम टीम जीत गई. सोच ऑनी पिक्सल के कितने किल होंगे.
With one or more game files, we recommend running a file integration in. हाँ करना तो verification.
कितने.
क्लोज कर बंद कर गेम.
और
4 किल है 4.
और क्या करूँ अब.
स्ट्रीम कर. स्ट्रीम नहीं हो रहा.
One of those legendary lower bracket runs.
बता जरा प्रोज हार गए स्ट्रीमर से शर्म नहीं आई है एक बंदा कैरी कर गया भाई इनको
नेक्स्ट प्रो है ना
एलिस तो खेलता है फेस के लिए
वही जगह पे
इस पे क्लिक करेगा स्टॉप कर दिस
अब ओनी पिक्सल इसका ग्लेज करता रहेगा ये मैं जीता मैं 4 किल लिए शर्म कर ले
अब इसको राइट क्लिक कर पबजी आ लिया यानी वानी अरे पबजी लिखा हुआ है ना गेम में गेम्स में यहाँ नीचे इसमें नीचे यहाँ नीचे पबजी लिखा हुआ है ना हाँ राइट क्लिक कर प्रॉपर्टीज okay install files verify integrity of game files लाइट चली गई बॉयज थोड़ी देर में आता हूँ